regular upstate New York town, quaint and picturesque. But there is one thing that separates it from the rest, a world-class racetrack steeped in history that's ready to create some more.
Each week, the Rolex Sports Car Series continues to write new chapters in the Grand Am history books. At the last race in Mont-Tremblant, it was the duo of Max Pappas and Scott Pruitt driving home the first victory for Lexus and Chip Ganassi Racing. The celebrated win also brought the 4 different winners in as many races. Today, one of these 4 teams hopes to make the first repeat appearance in Victory Lane this season. But with a Daytona prototype field this strong and 6 hours of endurance racing ahead, the door to Victory Lane is wide open.
Watkins, Glen, the track that hosted 20 Formula One Grand Prix, welcomes the Rolex Sports Car Series for another year, another grueling endurance test. This is the Sahlen 6 Hours of the Glen. Let's give you an overview of the championship, Daytona prototype style. One word explains it, it is tight. The Ganassi pair of Pappas and Pruitt have a very slender 2-point lead over the second, the RX.com G&W boys, Kelly Collins and Court Wagner. Look through the rest of the top positions there. It is very, very close. The cars roll here at Watkins, Glen. Time to take a look at the Aqua Velva starting grid, and as you've heard already, Max Angelelli breaking the dominance of CompUSA Chip Ganassi drivers Scott Pruitt and Max Pappas. And what about Court Wagner, the best ever start for the RX.com Doran BMW. Take a look at row 2. Luis Diaz puts himself in good position and is the highest qualifying Ganassi car, and Darren Law, great position, equal best start for the BMW Fab car for Brumos Racing. Row 3, Oswaldo Negri, the Shank car will again be a contender today. Oz and Bert Frizzell and Mike Borkowski, 4 years junior in that brand new Pontiac Riley. That's that car's best ever starting position and that team's best starting position this season. Look for them. Back on row 4, straight from Le Mans, his victory in the GTS class there. Jan Magnussen rejoins the Rolex Sports Car Series in the 27 Lexus powered Doran and Butch Leitzinger, the best of the Howard Boss Motorsports cars. Row 5, Hurley Hayward looking for success for Brumos. This is their backyard. And the spirit of Daytona Racing's Doug Goad starts outside the 5th row. Row 6, Mad Max. He's got some work to do, but he will make his way through the field, no doubt about that. And Milka Duno, after she's finished with her opening stint, will hand over to Andy Wallace and former Le Mans 24-hour winner, Jan Lammers. He's back as well. Chris Hall there for the Silverstone Racing Services. They've got 3 drivers again in this race, and that car is fairly quick. Shane Lewis in the BMW Fab car for Southern Motorsports. Row 8, the Pryskowskis are here on Father's Day, celebrating it the best way they know how, racing together. And there we see, sadly, the worst starting position for the reigning championship car, Forrest Barber, Terry Borchella and Andy Pilgrim. Forrest will have some work to do starting on the 8th row.
The story in GT has to be the Ferrari 360 GT that starts in 3rd. It's the 4th time in a row Team PTG has been on the pole, but the car driven by Ralph Kellner's Anthony Lozaro and owned by Phil Bennett, the first time it showed up this year, the Risi Competizione Ferrari 360 GT, not even maximized to the rules yet, and is putting pressure on the BMWs. It should be a good race for them and for all of GT. For SGS, let's check in with Calvin Fish.
Well, in SGS, Brian, it's TPC Racing that continue to dominate. They sit 1-2 on the grid, and in the number 36 machine, Mike Levitas and Randy Popes are going for 3 in a row. But they're not taking things lightly. They've imported Mike Rockenfeller, a Porsche factory driver, to their driving squad this weekend. But one team that continues to struggle with technical difficulties is the ASCO Motorsports Porsche team. It's not a car this weekend problem, but they failed to nominate their drivers in time before qualifying, and they've moved from 3rd on the grid all the way to the back. But Lee, it's a long 6-hour event. I'm sure they'll still be a factor.
Hey, and it's not like they don't know how to do that. We've seen them come from the back before, working their way all the way through to victory. The cars are almost on the front straight. This is the 6 Hours of the Glen, a very historic race. Brumos won it last year. Who can do it here today in upstate New York? Green flag flies.
Mad Max got a big run on the outside. I don't know if he can make any room there or not. We're already 5 wide, getting down in the brake zone for 1.
It is busy traffic. Borkowski on the brakes. The car gets a little squirrely. Thankfully, the front run into the packers through the first turn, no problems at all. Magnuson trying to force his way through, and Forrest Barber runs wide.
He's off the outside of turn 1. You don't want to get off there. That's a bad place. Luckily, we got a spin.
Big lock up. There's one car gone. That's the Pryskowski car.
He's hit the guardrail right at the bottom of the beginning of the S's, and he's really lucky he didn't take a lot more people with him.
And there is the 33 Maserati of Washington. Maserati car change of the lead already. Luis Diaz puts the Comp USA Ganassi car in front. He gets around Mad Max Angelelli.
Wow, isn't that something? He must have shown some speed right there getting into the inner loop. Right here is turn 5, very quick. You're flat out down through here, down to the long course. Turn 6 coming up.
The Shank car has made significant progress. Oswaldo Negri has put that car up into 3rd, and Kurt Wagner's been relegated to 4th. And Darren Law forcing the issue there as well in 5th. Look at this group here. Then you've got Borkowski defending from Jan Magnussen, and Butch Leitzinger's there also.
One of the great things about this racetrack is it's very, very quick, and it's got a lot of racing room. You'll see a lot of side-by-side passing, and one of the good places right up here in this break zone.
Wagner taking a look at Negri. Not quite close enough. A little bit of a lock-up from Darren Law. And the 59 Brumos is there, and sadly we haven't completed a lap. Full course caution is already out. And understandably, the incident with the Essex Racing Ford Multimatic prototype. And there you see the flags wave as the Essex Racing Ford Multimatic is being helped from the circuit. Here's the replay on board. Watch to the right of your screen. Bang! That was a big hit. We'll be back. Let's hope we can get this race started for real as Angelelli takes an inside run on Luis Diaz. He's got it, and look who's following him through. Kurt Wagner dives to the inside, but he's not close enough.
This is inside the 58 car. This is a typical turn 1 situation. Now we've got to get straightened out as we run up this Essex right here flat out. Listen. We've got a break zone right here for the inner loop. Watch how quick it is here. Down 2 gears. Rear spin across the curbs there. Now tuck to the inside. This is straight downhill from here all the way to the bottom. You're really gaining speed.
This is what Darren Law has been waiting for. They enter the booth. Law has won here twice in the GT class. With a big-time team, but luck has not been on their side this year. Angelelli leads the black and yellow SunTrust Pontiac Riley from the first of the Comp USA Ganassi cars. Diaz, Kurt Wagner's chasing, and here is Jan Magnussen in the 27 Doran Lister, the Lexus-powered Doran, ahead of Darren Law and Mike Borkowski.
I think Angelelli has decided that the best place to see this race is up front, because it's kind of crazy when you get around another guy.
The 0-1, the second Ganassi car is making good progress. It started 11th. Before the restart, it had made up 2 positions, even amongst all that craziness and mayhem at the beginning.
They finally completed one whole lap. Now everybody can start getting their throats and their hearts back out of the throat where they can calm down and start getting on the run here.
For the car running 3rd, the red, white and blue RX.com Doran, it has been a unique weekend for those guys, for Brent Martini, Kelly Collins and Kurt Wagner. And in that, I mean that nothing has gone wrong for them. Every race meeting they've turned up at, something has happened, whether it be one time where they blew the engine, had to fly another one in, Dynan from California, whether it be electrical or gearbox issues, nothing has gone wrong for this car this weekend. That could be a sign for them.
You better not have jinxed them by saying that. They'll come after you.
There's the Mears Motor Coach, the brand new Pontiac Riley, Oswaldo Negri defending from Butch Leitzinger.
Now the SunTrust car is starting to get legs. You see it now. Just the cold tires early on. It's a 6-hour race. We haven't talked about that before. It's a sprint race, but it's a 6-hour sprint race, and you got to be there at the end.
Here he is. The man who was in the car in front, the Red Bull Brumos Porsche last year with David Donahue. He won this event. Now teamed with the Mears Motor Coach effort. And team owner Paul Mears is like a kid with a new toy. He can't believe how strong and fast this Pontiac Riley is.
Well, obviously they love the car, but they haven't really had any time to develop it at all. And that will come as they have more laps on the seat.
And Mike Borkowski, Dorsey, is really impressed with this car. He's really been about the human dynamometer in this series. He's driven 4 different cars over the last few months, and he says this Riley is unbelievable. The stability of the car, particularly in the rear end, is sensational when comparing it to the Multimatic. So he's very happy, and he said more importantly, Paul has a lot more confidence, and we should be able to narrow that gap between my cars and his, and we should be a factor as this season moves on. Let's go down to Chris Neville.
Thanks, Cal. Down here with the 01 team, just talked to Scott Pruitt. Max Pappas is going to be bringing that car to pit lane. They have a sticky throttle right now. These guys have been having a tough weekend. They really never found a great setup on the car. They also had mechanical problems in qualifying. So more little gremlins for these guys after their win at Mont Tremblant.
Well, sticky throttle is not something you want to have around here at the speeds that these cars can achieve.
How things can turn around and change. We saw at Tremblant things go wrong for the SunTrust team. Now it's the 0-1. Its turn. And frustration for the Ganassi team, but if there is a team on this pit lane that can address it and fix it as fast as possible, it is this organisation. Look at them diving in head first to address the situation.
Setting for the pedal, so down there, and if he goes flat sustained in the car, he'll pull his feet back as much as he can, but that's no more than an inch or so. The mechanic's going to have to get down there and see if the cable is hung up there, or back here, his mechanics are working at the throttle linkage.
Max communicating with the team, trying to remain calm. What's that like, Dorsey? When
Something back here.
Battle, you've got to come in and stop.
You know, you come in, you got your adrenaline really going crazy, but as you're sitting there for a while, it seems like an eternity. You've got to calm yourself down. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. You're losing ground quick. Chris?
Yeah, you saw those guys dive into the cockpit at first with a bottle of WD-40, trying to think it was possibly with the pedal, but they've already taken the airbox off, and they think it's back at where the throttle linkage is back in the engine bay. So they're starting to take things apart back here. This is going to be a long stop for these guys.
And they've already gone down a lap as Max Angelelli comes across the start-finish line and into turn 1. We're up to speed. Thankfully, we've got this thing started, and the SunTrust Riley is out in front. Meanwhile, perhaps its most potent competitor is stranded in pit lane. You're watching the 6 hours of the Glen. Welcome back, everyone, to Watkins Glen International Raceway for the Sahlen 6 hours of the Glen, round 5 of the 2004 Rolex sports car season. You join us at the perfect time. We're just coming out of our 9th course caution. We go back to green, and believe it or not, the 0-1 Ganassi car has come from 2 laps down to lead the race, but look at Wayne Taylor on the inside.
The top 8 cars on the lead lap. This is for position, no question. That is now Max Angelelli behind the wheel. They just made that pit stop. He's taken over the lead, but there are 8 cars nose to tail on this restart.
No driver change with the car we ride with now. Max Pappas did a wonderful opening stint. It is now Scott Pruitt behind the wheel of this car, the 0-1 Comp USA Ganassi Riley.
And Pruitt did not do a driver change. He's been in that car for quite a while right now and was leading when they came into the pits.
Previous race leader Butch Leitzinger back on board the Howard Boss Motorsports machine, running 3rd. Paul Edwards and Elliot Forbes-Robertson did what they needed to do earlier on. They had some anxious moments as well, and there's the 2nd Ganassi of Luis Diaz, who sits 4th, and then the Bell Motorsports car with Andy Pilgrim on board there. They are a lap down, sadly. They had problems in the pits, frustratingly. The 58 Red Bull Brumos still having a good run, and now David Donahue behind the wheel there. Let's ride with Donahue. 6 hours of the Glen winner.
These guys have traded paint, bashed and crashed and carried on all day long, and they're all still in the hunt together.
Cautions have really played into the battle here. Here is the 27. Jan Magnussen did the first 3 hours of the race. Didier Tays, the 2002 Rolex champion, now behind the wheel there. Look at the traffic here on the opening lap of the restart. Good to see the Mears Motor Coach car back on track.
Mears Coach car was in some trouble. We'll look at that a little bit later. And you see him back working past all these Porsches, which are all racing around. I'll tell you what, it's just been a fantastic one.
Whoa, aboard with the 21.
That's your lead car right now, and it just about got in contact.
The lead GT class car, and coming up alongside of the 41 Nonamaker machine, the Planet Earth Motorsports Porsche. And Bill Auberlen currently sits a little further back. The 27 and the 81, they're going hard at it. This is the battle for sixth, and Tays grabs that now. Now the response here from Kelly Collins.
Kelly on the inside's got the better run up the hill, and that was a wise decision to back off at the bottom and not lose speed, running side by side to the top.
7 cars on the lead lap. We have had as many as 10 Daytona prototypes on the lead lap. They've been swapping positions. It's been incredible action here at the Glen while we're away, and we have still got a good chunk of time to go, just under 2 hours to the checkered flag.
Over half of the DP field has led this race at one time or another, legitimately, not on the pace laps and so forth. They've all been able to go to the front, and they're still getting after it.
The pole man, Max Angelelli, he leads the way by about a second and a half at the moment over Scott Pruitt. Then it's the 4 of Leitzinger, and here they are. Here is your leader, and the lead bunch there at the moment. Angelelli is starting to skip away. Let's bring you up to date what has transpired since the green flag flew this morning. It's our current race leader Angelelli on pole, but to get to the highlights, that was Forrest Barber who got nailed. So too did Shane Lewis in the P18 parts car. Early throttle linkage problems for Max Pappas in the Ganassi Riley. Look at this though. Major contact with 2 of the GT cars, and Randy Pope's the SGS at that stage second place car. It got involved as well as the pace car died for cover. The 09 Spirit of Daytona car ran into problems. Pappas out, Pruitt in. This was a slick stop. Max kept an eye on there. Pass for the lead though. Jan Magnussen, forceful driving on the inside of Luis Diaz. But then Paul Mears Jr. only 5 laps after getting into the car. I think that was engine problems that led to that. And Terry Borchello was relentless in his charge for the front position. And this was a flat tire for Paul Edwards. He brought the 4 in. They serviced that, not a problem. Major crash from Mark Patterson in the Michael Bachmann Corvette. Caution came out and the guys took their chances here. The 54 Bell Motorsports Kodak Easy Share car took the lead ahead of the Ganassi guys. Restart, and the pressure was on, and the 0-1, as I mentioned earlier, coming from 2 laps down to take the lead of this race. Then Bert Frizzell and Lucas Luer went at it like you wouldn't believe. The 2 youngsters really going hard. At this stage, Frizzell had the upper hand, but Lucas said, not just yet. Slam, cop that. And Lucas Luer paid the price. He had to do a drive-through penalty. Joe Nonamaker spun in turn 1, ended up reversing down the track. And then Pruitt beat the 54 out. Angelelli followed him. And the 54, the lead car you can see there on pit road, had major troubles with the gun. It was a frustrating time for those guys. They ended up going down a lap.
And that's a shame because they were running really good right there. That wheel nut got stuck, or the gun got stuck on the wheel nut, and they could not get out. That's our second place battle. That shows you how close they still are.
All right, let's get it down to pit lane and get some updates. Here's Chris Neville.
Hey, thanks, Lee. It's been really wild and woolly up at the front of Daytona prototypes all day long. As we saw, the 54 Forrest Barber went off early, cut down a tire, went down a lap. Terry Borcheller fought back for the middle part of the afternoon, got it back on the lead lap, and went for the lead. Then on that last stint there, he got into the side of the 33 Maserati. That's where they had the problems on that left front. They could not get that tire off during the caution. Went down a lap. Andy Pilgrim is back in that car. The 01 right now is Scott Pruitt. Early on, Max Pappas went 2 laps down because he had a throttle sticking. They've been fighting back all day. Cautions have helped them out. Scott Pruitt now leading. 2 cars running up front that have been problem-free all day. The number 10, Max Angelelli in that car, and the 02, Luis Diaz in that car. Problem-free all day. However, every time these 2 cars get a big lead, the cautions erase that lead, take them back to everybody else who's hunting them.
You see Scott Pruitt right there. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Well, in GT, the battle for the lead, PTG BMW team has it right now. A reasonable, comfortable 1-lap lead over the second place car, the number 30 Risi Competizione Ferrari 360 GT. But you cannot say enough for that Risi Competizione team. They came here with a car that really wasn't ready to race. Ralph Kelleners and Anthony Lazzaro doing a great job taking that prancing horse to the BMWs. If it weren't for a bad pit stop where they did not get the left front tire on and then had to serve a 1-minute penalty, they may be right there on the same lap. A couple of laps in arrears from that. The 44 of Mike Fitzgerald, Joe and Jay Policastro battling with Ian James, Gleason and Valentine in the 66 Racers Group car. That's your top 4 in GT right now for SGS, I should say. Let's get with Calvin Fish.
Well, Brian, in SGS, it's all about TPC racing once again. We saw championship leader Randy Post and Mike Levitas have their problems. They have returned that car to the racetrack, just trying to score some points. But the sister car, number 38, of Andy Lally and Mark Bunting, despite having a heavy hit into the rear end of that car, which actually destroyed one of the exhaust pipes and some bodywork, they continue to lead. But now in second place is another TPC car, that of John Littlejohn, Bill Adam and Spencer Pompelli. Pompelli has been brought into that team because Bill Adam had food poisoning yesterday. He wasn't sure how much time he'd be able to run in the car, so another very strong run by this team, Lee.
Thanks, Cal. They continue to charge on, and that SGS class has been wild today. Great battle here, the 0-2. Luis Diaz, Jimmy Morales, they've had a tremendous run today. They can sniff victory, they want to stand on that top step, so too does the 4, the Boss Snowplow. Crawford with the Pontiac power plant, Butch Leitzinger behind the wheel. They're battling for the final step on the podium at the moment. Up front, it's a 4.5-second lead to Angelelli over Pruitt. And let's see if Scott can respond. There has been 6 different leaders, some 13 lead changes here today at the Glen.
It's been an amazing battle all day long, and Pruitt's been in that car, like I said, for quite a long time. Putting Angelelli in was probably really smart because he's fresh right now. It's a hot day here, not terribly hot, but inside these cars, as you saw Pruitt driving earlier, he had his visor open. It's very hot inside these cars, about 150 degrees, so to be in them a long time takes its toll. Pruitt's a fit man, though.
So the countdown is on. We're inside the final 2 hours. And these guys scrapping for the tops, for the final step on the podium. The all-Mexican car, the 0-2 Comp USA Ganassi machine. Their highest result so far was at Homestead Miami Speedway earlier this year. Now Leitzinger's coming under increasing pressure. This is good stuff. Look at the Ganassi car, second in shot.
He's back and forth behind Leitzinger, but Butch is a veteran. He won't let that shake him up, but these guys going after it really hard right now. This is the proper place to set it up. Get the run down into turn 1. Watch here. Get the run going and pop out here late. See if he's got enough.
Let's see if the Lexus powered Riley has enough. Under brakes, not quite.
That's worth the effort, though, isn't it?
These guys will continue to fight for third. We need to leave the Glen just briefly. The Ganassi guys have been working very hard in the pits, extremely fast. Stay with us. Struggling, fighting, doing everything he can to get a lap back. Here is our race leader, Scott Pruitt, in the 0-1 Ganassi, Lexus Riley, and Wallace, the race winner from Homestead Miami Speedway, doing everything he can to try and get by. He is 2 laps down. Sadly, it's been a troublesome day for the Sitco team, but Andy has done a stunning job in this final stint, the run to the checkered flag. And who knows, there may be a couple of cautions. Things could go his way late in this race.
Well, I thought Andy might be able to get back to it while Pruitt's tires were still cold, but now they're on the second circulation around here, so Pruitt has got fresher tires. He's got more of a fuel load on, but I don't think Andy's going to be able to do it. He just couldn't get by quickly enough. Plus, then he would have needed a caution on top of that to get back around.
Luis Diaz was just ahead on the road of the 0-1 car, but he's been able to skip away after getting in and getting serviced. Working their way through traffic. There's Diaz just climbing the hill out of turn 7. Toe of the boot, as they say here at the Glen. Here's the 0-9 Spirit of Daytona Pontiac, the Crawford chassis car. It's been involved in a few issues today. The 0-9 of Stefan Gregoire and Doug Goad back outside the top 10. They're in 12th position at the moment.
Actually, Scott Pruitt has not made his pit stop yet, so he doesn't really have the fresher tires. He's just going fast. As we can see, we've been talking about that. He's running now 49.7s. Everybody else is in the 51 range, with the exception of Leitzinger, who's at a 50.
The fastest car last time round was Pruitt. and also the 58 Brumos car of David Donahue. Let's get an update from the pits. Here's Chris.
Lee, the number 10 SunTrust team is having some problems. They've got a fuel pickup problem right now, so they're not able to get all the fuel out of the car. So it looks like unless we have a caution for 4 laps, they're going to have to come in for a splash and go late in this race. These guys are starting to hang their heads a little low down here. So we had a lot of cautions early on, but we've been green for about the past 2 hours. Brian?
The SunTrust guys, that's easy for me to say, isn't it, Chris? Those guys aren't the only ones with fuel pickup problems. Darren, it seemed like in the beginning you just needed to run the pump to get all the fuel, but for some reason now, is the car cutting out?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. It was great for the first 2 hours when I was in, and at the end of my stint, it started cutting out in all these right-handers, so I don't know. We just can't get a break here. I don't know what's going on, but we're running on reserve, and we're having to fill it short. I'm hoping we can make it through.
Well, we said earlier a podium would really help heal a lot of the wounds, but it seems like the bad luck may be raising its ugly head again, Lee.
Yeah. So the fuel strategy is really kind of crazy. Pruitt can run longer through the ratio early in the race when he was having all the difficulties and got the 2 laps down. They kept checking on fuel as they worked on the car, so he actually can go further than anyone else. These other guys may be in trouble about making it.
One thing I don't think we have explained thoroughly to the full extent is that we have given praise to the 01 Ganassi car coming back from 2 laps. We haven't explained yet exactly how they did that, and they simply played the strategy game the best, using the cautions. We've had some 10 cautions in this race, and of course with years of NASCAR and open wheel experience, they know what strategy is all about, and they just played the game very carefully, very sensibly, and Scott Pruitt now back out in front. A relatively clear road ahead at the moment.
A bunch of these teams looking and hoping for a caution. There's one caution between now and the finish. They don't have any problems, but we've gone a long time now under green.
Angelelli still sits second. Didier Tays is third for the Doran Lister, the Lexus-powered Doran. Fourth on the road is the number 4, the Butch Leitzinger Pontiac-powered Crawford. Fifth is the Diaz Morales car with Luis Diaz behind the wheel, the 02 Ganassi car. Sixth is David Donahue, the first of the Brumos cars. 7th is Andy Wallace in the Sitco Crawford. There he is on track right now. However, Andy is still playing catch-up. 8th is the 54, the Kodak Easy Share car. Andy Pilgrim driving that one at the moment. 9th is the Michael Shank Racing car with Oswaldo Negri behind the wheel. And 10th is the second Brumos, the 59 of Hurley Hayward, JC France, and Lucas Lua.
Andy Wallace is not going to give up. He's going to hound Scott Pruitt, get that lap back no matter what. For Scott due to pit shortly.
Well, after those throttle linkage problems early on, no worries now for the 01 car. Let's talk SGS for a moment. Class-leading car is this one. Although it doesn't look the prettiest, it has been very effective, and the 2 TPC cars running well out on track there at the moment. Let's get an update. Here's Calvin.
Well, it's Andy Lally behind the wheel on the 38 machine right now, but his teammate Mark Bunning. Last couple of races, you've been the bridesmaid. Today, about 45 minutes left. How do you feel?
Oh, we feel great right now. I think our crew's done a great job getting us back in the race and keep us in the lead lap after the early incident we had in the race, but everyone's doing a great job. We just got our finger across to wait out the last 45 minutes, and hopefully we'll be on top.
You took a pop in the rear end earlier in the race, damage back there. You had to tear the exhaust off. How's the car performing?
The car's been good. We lost a little bit of power because of the exhaust, but other than that, it's been great.
All right, Mark, we wish you all the best on your first victory today.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, they don't have to hang on for too much longer, and that is the other TPC Porsche right behind with Bill Adam and John Littlechild and Spencer Pumpelly. So while the lead car, along with team boss Mike Levitas and Randy Popst and the flying German Mike Rockenfeller, it's been a troublesome day for the 36. For these two boys, it's running nicely at the moment.
Those guys did a really good job of getting the back of that car put back together. It had suspension, not suspension damage, but it had exhaust pipe damage and rear end hanging off of it.
So they're running strong in SGS. GT, it is still the way of the BMW Team PTG organization. There is Jan Magnussen set to get in for a final run to the flag. Didier Tays behind the wheel right now. He is a GTS Le Mans winner now.
Welcome back to the 6 Hours of the Glen, and Max Angelelli just brought the number 10 SunTrust Pontiac Riley to pit lane for his fuel stop. Took about 17 seconds. However, when he got back out on track, he did not beat Butch Leitzinger out, so it looks like he's in about 3rd place right now. He's got his hands full. He's going to need a caution to get back up front.
May have been tight too with Luis Diaz. I think the Ganassi car may have got him also.
It did, yeah, it did. 17 seconds worth of fuel, but then remember you have to slow down from top speed, go down to the pit lane speed, come out of the pits at the same speed, and then speed back up to the top speed again, and that's probably more realistically like 40, 45 seconds.
For the 4, Howard Boss. Crawford is there. Oh, no, there. Questions answered there. He did beat the Ganassi car out. So Angelelli maintains 3rd. There's Luis Diaz running hard, so he's got some extra incentive now.
They'll be on the radio with Luis and tell him what's happened there. That 10 car in front of you now is a position.
Half an hour, just 30 minutes remain here at Watkins Glen. Round 5 of the Rolex Sports Car Series, the 6-hour Enduro. It's the final 6-hour of the year. Watch the young Mexican, back of the shot there, the red and white Ganassi Riley. These 2 cars are Riley's, but this one has a Lexus power plant. The one he's chasing has a Pontiac.
They'll be on the horn to Scott Pruitt, let him know exactly what's happened. He's got a big lead now, and they can tell him just to calm down. Everything looks like it should be in his favor.
And what can Angelelli do now that he's fueled up, ready to go? Can he bridge the gap to Butch Leitzinger?
It's hammer time, buddy. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in front of him right now. Well, watch the lap times, but there's no question in my mind he is going to be on a tear.
Championship points will be interesting after this one. The 0-1 of Pruitt and Pappas lead the way, but they only had a 2-point margin over Kelly Collins and Court Wagner. Sadly, they've dropped well down the order after those electrical issues in the RX.com car. They're way down in 27th overall.
Yeah, that was a shame for them. That's not a really quick fix. I mean, you can fix it, but it takes more than a lap around here to do that.
Here's Butch Leitzinger. One of his victories in the 6 Hours of the Glen came with his teammate today, Elliot Forbes Robinson, back in 1997.
Great run for Max Crawford's guys. They needed this. They really did. Look at here. Congestion on the racetrack, and here comes the lead guys.
Butch gets by the 21, the lead GT car, the PTG BMW. Bill Oberlin behind the wheel still.
You see Butch has got the lights on to let these guys know, hey, I don't have time to wait for you guys. Make sure that you know I'm coming.
Well, if anyone needed to know how you win, and certainly it's not over yet, but it's looking good for them, how you win an endurance race in Rolex Sports Car Series, just ask the 0-1 team for CompUSA Ganassi Racing. How to remain calm, patient, sensible and intelligent. That's what they did. This car was 2 laps down at one stage in this race, and it now leads by 40 seconds.
And that because they played all their cards just perfectly.
Admittedly, nobody has had a trouble-free run today.
And nobody's fast enough to make up 2 laps on speed of the car or driver alone. It's got to be dealt to you. It's the hand that you have to play it perfectly. They have.
Pruitt, he loves victory. He's hungry for another one. They won the previous round at Mont Tremblant, and they're in the box seat here at Watkins Glen.
Have the tendency of getting very physical. So watch your step, 'cause if I do, you'll need a miracle. Dream of dying.
Counting it down. Time running out for Angelelli, who's chasing. If you're Pruitt, you want to see that checkered flag as quickly as you can.
And Scott's not just loping around here. He just ran a 147.80, so he's good. But Max is running in the 46.5 range. It's not enough.
There is the SunTrust Pontiac-powered Riley. We could see something special here today as far as the Ganassi team's concerned. Both cars are sitting for podium spots at the moment, 1st and 3rd. That will be a first. 4th is the number 4, Butch Leitzinger for Howard Boss Motorsports. 5th is the Brumos, the 58, the car that won last year, and that will be their best result of the 2004 season, a much needed boost for them.
It's absolutely amazing that the 0-1 car was down 2 laps in the first couple hours of this race, made up all that ground, and is now looking like it might win. with just 8 minutes left in the race.
6 cars on the lead lap. As we rejoin David Donahue in the 58. Let's get an update.
Guys, the bad luck for the 58 car may be continuing. They may have to actually stop for a splash at the end. That fuel pickup problem, they really don't know how long they can run the car. And to add insult to injury, they actually ran out of gas in the generator that powers all of their timing equipment down here. So their screens were blank a few laps ago. Very frustrating. They thought they had the bad luck gone away. It may have raised its head yet again, Lee.
The Frumos team worked incredibly hard to make changes with the structural rigidity, get this car handling and sitting on the track a little bit better, and we've certainly seen that today. It's been a good strong run from the 58, whether it be Darren Law, Sasha Massa. I think David's in trouble. It's running out of fuel.
It's running out of fuel and right-handers. We heard him say that, and so we think he'll be pitting. He's out of gas in the generator, out of gas in the race car. They need to buy more gas.
Wow.
That's frustrating when you turn into the corner and the motor just dies like that. You know that you can go around for a while doing that, but how far before she just won't go any further? They're going to have to stop.
And Jan Magnussen in the Doran Lister is only 7 seconds behind David Donahue, so if he does have to pit, he'll give up 5th, maybe even 6th.
Well, we'll know in this next corner is the entrance to pit lane. Will he go in? We'll know. Looks to me like he's
in. No,
nope, he's going on.
Out.
He's rolling the dice.
Wow, rolling on, rolling the dice. 6.5 minutes to go. It's looking like a red and white day here at Watkins Glen. The Ganassi cars 1st and 3rd. This man here, the reigning Trans Am Series champion, Scott Pruitt, loves Watkins Glen, performs well here. You may remember he finished 2nd to Robbie Gordon in the Nextel Cup race last year. Drove very, very well in that. And here is a positional move here. Jan Magnussen chasing down David Donahue.
David Donahue's a sitting duck. He knows when he makes this next corner, the right-hander's engine is going to run out of fuel, stumble.
Problems for the 59
yeah,
too.
He locked up a brake right there. Look, right here, he'll be slow because it won't pick up any fuel. And this is a long right-hander right here in front of him.
That 59 is slowing dramatically.
It is. It's been smoking. You thought it was brake smoke. It might not be brake smoke.
Now they've already...
now they passed it. They're both by it.
Jan Magnussen, you ride with David Donahue. Magnussen in the red, 27 Doran Lister, a Lexus power plant. Now sets him up for an inside run and will get him easily.
He's out of fuel right there. He's completely out. You see he's a sitting duck. Nothing he can do about that. The 59's trying to struggle to get in. It's got mechanical problems. The 4th, boy, these guys all on the same lap having trouble.
Magnussen now moves into the top 5 in the 27. So the order is Pruitt, Angelelli, Diaz, Leitzinger, and now this man here, who at one stage led this race and drove for the first 3 hours without a driver change.
You got to watch playing this fuel strategy on this racetrack. It's 3.4 miles around. You make the mistake of not going in the pit lane, it's a 3.4 mile penalty if you don't make it. Oh, look, something's broken on the car. Look, all the sparks underneath. There's suspension failure or something going on with the 59. It's on the right front, it looks like. It is. The whole nose frame seems to be on the ground.
Wow. Final 5 minutes of a 6-hour race.
Yeah, look, the whole right front corner is collapsed, and it's all the way down on the chassis there, scraping away the under tray. He'll be stopping.
They are several laps ahead of the next Daytona prototype car, which is Doug Goad and Stefan Gregoire.
Didn't look like the tire was down. I mean, the suspension's down for sure. Oh, look at this. More Brumos troubles. We talked about it. It's not stopped. It's still happening. Both cars in.
They will not enjoy the highs they did last year here at their home track.
Let's see what they've done to this.
They go to work on the left, or rather the right front of the 59.
Is it a tire? Possibly a flat tire.
Brian's there, I think. Brian or Chris?
Yeah, Lee, I'm here. It was a tire. The right front tire was down, but they've scraped so much on the skid blocks underneath the front splitter. The front splitter is actually on fire. Small fire, it should blow out. We hope. And they're off.
And they should. This 59 car, Lucas Luer, Hurley Hayward, and JC France should be able to salvage a top 10 result this late in the race. 3.5 minutes. The countdown is on. The lead margin has now grown to 34 seconds. It's looking great for this guy.
Yeah, Scott Pruitt. He's got his rhythm. He's not going to slow down all that much. He knows what he's got to do. 3 minutes to go. He's only got another lap and a half to go or so.
There's Max Pappas, his teammate, and the rest of the Ganassi squad for the 01 car. Back-to-back wins in the offing for the 01.
They broke that long stretch for Lexus of not winning a Rolex Series race, and now they could win 2 back-to-back. That looks like the Mears Motor Coach prototype stopped on the side of the track, just coming up to the top of the S's.
Problem for Scott is he can't slow up enough not to make another lap. He's going to get the white flag this time and make one more lap. Nobody within contention of where he's at, though, so all he's got to do is just make one more circuit.
They took over the championship lead after their first win at Mont Tremblant. They will consolidate that lead now in 1.5 laps time of the Watkins Glen circuit.
And who would have guessed 2 hours into this race, when they were 2 laps down, that this would be the car that would bring it to the checker? Certainly I didn't think they had a chance to do that, not the way things were going for them, but I would have been wrong.
Timely moment to talk about Jackie Ickx with Le Mans just a week ago, and Tom Christensen tying his all-time record of 6 victories there. Jackie and Lucien Bianchi won the first ever Watkins Glen 6-hour in July 1968. And now Scott Pruitt gets his shot along with Max Pappas. But of course, remember, Max did it back in 1996 in a thrilling finish when he passed Leitzinger with just 4 minutes to go. So he'll get to do it twice for Pappas, or rather for Pruitt, his first. And he's working his way one more corner. The white flag will appear, and all of that hard work of coming back from a 2-lap deficit will be forgotten in just 3.5 miles.
Yeah, this is the big lap here. This is an easy lap. Look short right there. You see him just short shifting along. Open his visor up, get some air, wave at the fans. There's a lot of fans here this weekend. Here's your 10 car. Second place is going to stay in second place, unfortunately. He just ran a 1:45.3. Fastest race lap for sure. All too much, too little, too late.
Gives you an insight into Max Angelelli's personality as a driver. A lot of people say he's a bit crazy, he's a bit loose, he's a bit too forceful and wild, but he is so determined and so fast and just does not want to give up. To the third place car, Luis Diaz and Jimmy Morales. Well, the Mexican fans were excited after the Homestead Miami Speedway round, where they finished, they went well back in the pack. They ended up finishing 15th, but they were leading at one stage. This will be their best result. They came close to a podium at Phoenix with 4th. They now sit 3rd. Congratulations to them. Good drive. And he was electrifying earlier when he passed Pruitt and slipped through the traffic. That was amazing stuff.
It was really good stuff. So many of these cars have got to lead today, legitimately lead this race. Series very healthy.
6 leaders, 16 lead changes. Incredible stuff. Last half a lap for Scott Pruitt. He is almost home. Well, when we started the show, we mentioned about the possibility of 5 different winners. That will not happen when we get our first repeat winner of the season, and it's a back-to-back winner at that. The Comp USA Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabates. They will celebrate again. Mont Tremblant, they do it here at Watkins Glen. They capture both 6-hour events. The 01 Ganassi car, Scott Pruitt, Max Pappas, they do it, and they do it perfectly. Here at Watkins Glen, Max gives the thumbs up. Pappas didn't seem all that thrilled, but I'm sure he is a little tired after his wonderful drive earlier on today. The SunTrust boys did not give up, in particular Max Angelelli, but take nothing away from team owner and co-driver Wayne Taylor. He had a wonderful stint earlier. And our GT class winner, yet again, they get 4 in a row. Bill Aublin, Boris said, stunning stuff from those guys in the Team PTG BMW M3. The sister car, the 22, it went out early with problems over on the back stretch. And our SGS class winning car, Andy Lally, for TPC Racing. Their teammates, the sister car, the 36, has had the last 2 victories. Now it's the first of the season for Andy Lally and Mark Bunting. They've come together very well. Andy has helped and nurtured Mark Bunting along, who has really improved as a sports car racer, and they get their SGS class win. Here is the overall winner, though, Scott Pruitt. 2 from 2 in the last 2 races. We'll hear from he and Max Pappas and the rest of the gang when we return.
Well, it was the comeback, no doubt about that. The 0-1 Ganassi car. Let's join Chris Neville with our race winners.
Down here with Scott Pruitt. Very excited, Scott. You guys had a little bit of a rough start to the year, but this is 2 in a row now. You guys are our first repeat winners in the Daytona Prototypes. Was this an easy one, and are you guys the team to beat now?
Easy. Hey, hon, how you doing? Talking to my wife and kids on the phone. It's the way it started was crazy. I mean, we went 2 laps down. We had some sort of throttle sticking problem, and we didn't know we could get it back. You know, the Comp USA guys did a great job. Lexus gave us good engine, and we just kept at it all day. Just kept at it, kept digging, and things ended up falling our way. If you would have talked to me, well, actually we did talk about 10 minutes in. I was just hopeful to get back a couple laps and salvage something, and to come home with a win. It's pretty awesome. Says a lot about the team.
Max, why don't you come on over here? Max, you were the one who was in the car early in the race. You had that throttle problem. You went down 2 laps. How do you stay excited and stay focused to get the car back on the lead lap?
You know, that was a very good team effort. You know, today, you know, I drove the wheel off the car in the beginning, in the first couple of hours, and, you know, 2 in a row is very good.
Well, these guys are both very excited about this win. 2 in a row for Ganassi, Comp USA.
Absolutely stunning stuff from both of them. They both look a little tired, understandably. Angelelli and Taylor, they pick up second, and then the second Ganassi car on the podium for the first time in its Rolex Sports Car Series career. Nice work. Coming away from this one, back-to-back wins for the Ganassi guys.
Typical 6 hours of Watkins Glen. It shows you every time you might have the fastest car, but you still might not win.
The next event on the Rolex Series calendar is that one that's held in the middle of the night at Daytona International Speedway, the Paul Revere 250. You can see that Sunday, July 4th. It's been an interesting day here at Watkins Glen, that's for sure. The 6 hours are done with. We get back to the sprint format, basically of 2-hour, 45-minute races. And boy, this race was action-packed today. It was Father's Day at Watkins Glen. It was one to remember for a variety of reasons, but particular, the great comeback by Scott Pruitt and Max Pappas. On behalf of Chris Neville, Brian Till, Calvin Fish, and Dorsey Schrader, I'm Lee Diffie. Thanks for joining us for the 6 hours of the Glen, and congratulations again to Pruitt and Pappas.